This video is going to be on CM Punk and pretty much the big story of his first acts as being a bad guy, a heel. And it seems like now this is the second time the WWE's had a huge opportunity to really do something with CM Punk and really hit a home run with him. Seems like pretty much 1 year ago he dropped the whole pipe bomb thing, and everyone was just amazed by just the controversy and the bluntness of his promo. And that took him to new heights that he had never been before in the WWE. And Cena being there with him kind of elevated him to be even a bigger superstar. And, it seems like now there's just more pressure being on him because considering that 7 million people are around that area watched the last segment of Raw 1000 and watched him take out The Rock, those handful of people I think, will tune in tomorrow or today, and see what CM Punk has to say or explain himself and see what the conclusion is to him attacking The Rock. And with him doing that, they really have to give him the chance and the opportunity to do what he thinks is best for his character and for the build to the Royal Rumble. And I think it's pretty obvious now that he will have the title from now until January. And that's a lot of time to kill. And that's a lot of time not to kill, but also to build him as a superstar. And I think this opportunity he has now, it can take him places where he hasn't been before. Because to be quite honest, the first time they really failed with the whole CM Punk thing. Of course, it started off super hot, from the pipe bomb to the Money in the Bank, he was on fire. After the Money in the Bank, he was still on fire. But you saw that little decline when SummerSlam started coming around. And why do you think that is? I think it's because it was Triple H's fault. I'm not blaming it all on Triple H, but I think ever since they started bringing in more and more guys like Triple H, Vince, John Laurinaitis, that's when his character really started to decline. And that's when he kind of got level-headed. He's supposed to be a superstar, not like everyone else. And, I think between now and what is it, August right now, just say August to January, you can build CM Punk as that megastar, not the babyface megastar where he's selling all the merch, he's doing the USA Network shows, he's Make-A-Wish this and all that, but you can make him into a legitimate heel star where he can go in there against The Rock. Whether he loses or he wins, he can walk out of that building still a star, because you can go into that match, everyone knows Punk's going to lose, and he can just get pinned, and then his momentum will just go straight down. But I think with the right booking and the right moves, he can go into that match, lose his title, and still walk out a legitimate star, because he was in there with The Rock, he held the belt for over a year, and he put up that good fight, and he almost beat The Rock, because I'm sure there's going to be times where you're going to be like, damn, Punk's going to beat The Rock. And, it seems like, that, it kind of, I don't want to say it's WWE, but it's what they allow him to do with the microphone. And that it's all about making him hot. It's about making the heat. It's about him getting all the heat he possibly can. And pretty much they're giving him a second chance. This is, how many times do you get a second chance? Imagine if Stone Cold Steve Austin, his run with Vince McMahon didn't work. Where is that second chance? It hasn't happened now. They tried doing it again with Cena and John Laurinaitis, but it didn't work. This is a golden opportunity WWE has to take advantage of a guy who can talk on the microphone and really make him into a star and make him gain all that heat as much as possible to go into Phoenix and face The Rock, who's the mega baby face against the mega heel. That is just a match made in heaven, because it's always a split crowd. If Punk, I know it's going to be a split crowd in Phoenix as well, but if Punk can really generate that heat with about 80% of the crowd, he has a chance to make this match huge. And I think it's about how far WWE will let him go, about what they'll let him say, and pretty much what they'll let him do. I can't really emphasize that more. If they let him do the things he thinks it takes, because he's the wrestler, he knows what the fans want to see. When you got a guy like Michael Hayes or whoever, a guy who wasn't even wrestling, telling Punk what to do, that's when you start falling off the ladder, and that's when you lose connection with the crowd. The person who knows the fans the best are those who are in the ring every single night, because they know what the fans want to see, they know what makes them pop, makes them boo, makes them cheer. And, Punk the first time, I would say he was over for sure. You know, I'm not saying that Punk's thing was a total fail. He still got biggest pops here and there, but he wasn't John Cena over. He wasn't Undertaker or Shawn Michaels or Steve Austin over or Triple H over. He was over due to other aspects. You know, he wasn't that big, larger than life kind of guy. You know, I don't know how tall he is, but I'm 6 feet, and you know, I guess me and Punk kind of stand head to head together. He may be 6'1", 6'2", but he's not that superstar. He doesn't have that superstar quality to him, and I think that's one thing that held him back, because fans today are so used to seeing guys like Cena, guys like Batista really be that shining star. And when you see a guy like Punk, you know, sure, some of the crowd will appreciate him, but a whole lot of other crowd will say, like, you know, this guy doesn't look like a superstar. And I think that's one thing that could have held him back from really being bigger than he could have been. And I think that's another thing that made WWE back off on him the first time, bringing Triple H in. And I was there for that match at Night of Champions. He had all the momentum going in, and as soon as Triple H came, he pinned him, and that's when his stock dropped. After that, Punk, I think, was never the same again, up to this day. I think he lost all his momentum at Night of Champions, and there was no bringing that back. And that's just typical WWE thing. They have something so good, and they do something stupid, and they end it. And pretty much from now until January, Punk's going to have the microphone, and I think that's his biggest weapon. He may not have the size, but he has the mouthpiece. And if he can utilize that, and if they let him utilize that, he can just do so many things with this feud, and it can really reflect on his success and the company's success from now until January. And that's pretty much all I have to say. It's really going to be a big testament to him and the company's trust. So leave your guys' thoughts, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.